Alright, and we're back with another video about using Excel. So today we are going to learn something called vLookup. And what this essentially allows us to do as counselors is get information from multiple Excel sheets and put them all together in one place very, very easily. So you can see today we're using our practice sheet. So this one has ID number, first name, last name, and grade. So what I'm going to do is, using a couple different sheets, I'm eventually going to put GPA down here, and I'm also going to put period 1 teacher and period 1 course, period 1 grade. Okay, so we're going to get some information from a couple different places. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to create those headers. So I want GPA here, and I want period 1 course here, and period 1 grade here. And actually, I think I'll put teacher in there also, so period 1 teacher. Okay, you'll remember from the last video, we can double click in between here, and we can resize these if we want. Okay, you can right click on any of these, and you can insert a column too, so that's what I did to get the column before that. Alright, so now what we want to do is we want to figure out, the first question we need to ask ourselves is, where do we want this information to start? That's always the cell you want to start in. So I want my GPAs to start right here in E2, so I'm going to click in that box. Then I'm going to come up to formulas, and I'm going to go to lookup and reference. I'm going to come down and I'm going to do vLookup. Okay, now really important whenever you're doing a vLookup, and this is good practice when you're using Excel as a counselor, period. You always want to make sure that your first column is ID numbers, because this is the information we're going to use to match with other Excel sheets. So basically what you're telling Excel is, okay, what I want you to do is take the information in A2, and you're going to match that information in the other sheets that I tell you about. The table array is, okay, so once we know what information to look for, where do we go to look for it? So I like to click this little arrow here, and then now I'm going to figure out, okay, where is the sheet that I'm going to pull this information from? Well, in this case, I have a separate tab down here that says GPA, and that's where that GPA information lives. So I'm going to click there. And then I'm going to click on this arrow right here and select the whole sheet. So now you'll see that it has selected the entire sheet. Now, here's a big difference. When you are selecting information from a sheet that's within the same Excel document, you need to make sure that once you've done this part, you hit F4 and you end up with those dollar signs. What that's going to do is lock that information down so that it doesn't change, and it won't give you an error message if you have those in there. So be sure to click that F4 if it's a sheet within the same Excel document. Okay, once you've done that, you're going to hit the arrow again. It's going to take you back here. So Excel has said, okay, so now I know I'm looking for the ID number in this sheet. Now within that sheet, tell me what information do you want me to find specifically. So that's the column index. So we're going to click here again. And now we're going to go down to GPA. Now we're going to tell Excel what column to choose. Now, for this one, this is going to be a number. Okay, so we're going to actually get rid of that function right there. And we're going to count columns. So in this case, I want GPA, which is column 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to put a 4 there. I'm going to hit this little box. And then down here for range lookup, I'm going to put false. I don't know why you put false, but you just put false. And you'll notice right here, it's showing us an example of what the information is going to look like. So now this says a 2.5. Which is great. That means that the formula that we created works. So we're going to hit OK. And now we see that Winston Bishop has a 2.5 GPA. If you want to go back and check that, we can go to the sheet right here and we can see, oh yeah, Winston Bishop, 2.5 GPA. So we know that that's right. Now, instead of writing this formula in for every box, really easy way to do this is once you have it in one box here or one cell, you can click on the little green box at the bottom and you can drag it, or if you double click it, it'll shoot it all down there for you. Okay, it'll go all the way down until the last information. A couple things to keep in mind here. If let's say I typed in April's ID number wrong, 658721. Now this says NA because they didn't find a matching, or Excel didn't find a matching ID number. So if you get this error message, just know that that's probably what's happening, is your ID numbers don't match. Okay, now I want to find some more information. I want period 1 course, teacher, and grade. These actually exist in a whole different Excel sheet, so we're going to do things just slightly differently. We're going to still go up to lookup and reference. We're going to go to vLookup. I'm going to select A2 because that's where my ID numbers are. Now for table array, now I have to come down here and I have to find my other Excel document. So in this case, it's Excel 2 practice. So I'm going to click on that. I'm still going to highlight everything by using the little arrow here. And then while I'm here, I can decide, okay, what column do I need? So I'm going to start by putting the course in. So I want column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm just going to keep that in my head because now it's going to ask me for my column index. So I'm going to put 5 and I'm going to put false. And then now we know that Winston has English for his first period. We're going to shoot that information all the way down here, just like we did with the last one. You'll notice the one step that I didn't do was hit F4. Okay, you only hit F4 when the information exists in the same Excel document. If it exists in a whole nother one, you don't have to hit F4 in order for that formula to work. Now, I could do a vLookup formula for this one and for this one, do it all over again. You'll notice in Excel, there's usually 5 to 6 different ways to do stuff. Here's what I like to do. I like to copy this formula over. So I'm going to hit Control-C to copy. Then I'm going to click in this cell right here, and I'm going to hit Control-V. And I'm going to change 2 pieces of information in this formula. I'm going to change this one back to A2, because I know that's where my ID numbers start. Then I'm going to come over here in all this mess, and I'm going to go change this one from 5 to 6, because in the other document, column 6 is where the teacher name was. So now I'm going to hit Enter. And now my teacher names are there, and I can click this box. I can shoot them all down. You'll notice that they kind of go over the line, so I'm going to click right here. I'm going to extend that box a little bit, and I'm going to do the same thing with the next one. I just find this to be a little bit quicker, a little bit easier, but you can do whatever works for you in your practice as a school counselor. So there's a quick little tutorial on how to do vLookup, how to get information from this different sheet within an Excel document, and also how to pull information from a completely different Excel document into this one.